New York City, present day, Ms Ebenita Scrooge makes her way into work at a department store where she is the boss and in charge. A businesswoman in a black suit with red hair in her early 60s, making her way up to her office where her assistant, Mrs. Roberta Cratchit, awaits her. Good morning, Miss Scrooge. Oh, Mrs. Cratchit, do I have any appointments today? Well, no. It is Christmas Eve, of course. I'll be in my office. Ebenita then goes into her office and begins work. Then, sometime later, her nephew comes in and says, Merry Christmas, Mrs. Cratchit. Oh, Merry Christmas, Fred. And please, it's Roberta. Ah, of course, Roberta. Is my auntie in? Well, yes, but she doesn't want to see anyone. Oh, don't worry, I'll be quick with her. After all, I am the only family she has. Fred then makes his way into her office and says, Merry Christmas, Aunt Ebenita. Mm-hmm, said Ebenita. Okay, Fred, let's get this over with. It's the same every year. You ask me, and what do I say? Well, there's no harm in asking if you want to come to Christmas dinner tomorrow. It would mean a great deal to me. And it would to Mother as well. Yes, well, your mother isn't here, is she? Now, are we done here? Come on, Auntie. I'm the only family you have left. I think you should at least try and make the most of... Well, look, Fred, I told you, I don't do Christmas. I sell it, yes, that makes me money. But I do not enjoy participating in it. Now, please make your way out of my office, and we will consider this our yearly visit. Fine. But you know something, Aunt Ebenita? You're a very stubborn woman. And Merry Christmas to you. Yes, and a bar humbug to you as well, because that's what Christmas is, a humbug. Fine. I'll celebrate Christmas in my own way, and you can celebrate it in yours. I sometimes wonder, Fred, why did you even get married? Because I fell in love. Isn't that what people do? I don't know. It was a long time ago since I had any feelings for anyone. Good day, Fred. Fine. Goodbye, Auntie. But in case you change your mind, the offer still stands. Fred then makes his way out of her office, wishing Roberta Cratchit a happy Christmas. Then, two charity workers come in, saying Merry Christmas to Roberta, and then asking if they could see Ms Scrooge. Roberta being a bit reluctant, saying that she doesn't want to see anyone. The two men promise they won't be long. They both tell her that they are from a charity, the church, and ask if Ebenita is interested in making a donation. She then says, you know, if you give money to people, they expect you to constantly give it. Well, it's Christmas after all, said one of the charity workers. Now tell us, how much can we put you down for? Let me see, said Ebenita. None. You wish to remain anonymous. I wish to be left alone, said Ebenita. Now, please make your way out of my office before I call security. Very good. We'll leave you then. The two men leave, disappointed that she would not make a donation. Wishing Roberta a Merry Christmas, Ebenita then steps out of her office and says to Cratchit, "What did I say? I did not want to be disturbed. Now, I want you to go out and get my lunch for me." "Oh, yes, Ms Scrooge, right away." The day goes on, and the department store then starts to close. As 7 p.m. approaches, Roberta comes in and says, "Ms Scrooge, I am hoping if I could have my salary now." Very well. Here you go." Scrooge gives Roberta her pay, but she notices that it is halved, saying to her, "Miss Scrooge, this is a lot less than what you pay me." "Yes, well, consider the rest of it payment for your day off tomorrow that you want." "But it is only once a year, Miss Scrooge." "Yes, well, like I said, you do not even want to work half a day, so I cut your pay." "But everyone takes the day off. Surely you do." "Yes, and it is a wasted day." "Very well, but be here all earlier the next day. Do you understand that? I don't want a repeat of last year or the year before." "Oh, no, I promise it won't happen again." Thank you, Miss Scrooge. Merry Christmas." "Yes, bah humbug." Roberta then makes her way home, excited and ready for Christmas. A few more hours pass by, and then Ebenita makes her way out of her office, walking through the department store and saying goodnight to a security guard. She walks the cold New York streets on Christmas Eve. She then walks along and gets into a New York cab, asking for her address. She gives it to the driver and then takes her home. She then makes her way out and goes up to her steps to her house. As she puts the key into the door, she then hears chains rattling. She then looks and sees nothing. But then, in the door, she sees the face of an old friend, saying to her, "Scrooge." "What the? Jacob Marley?" Ebenita closes her eyes and shakes her head, thinking, no, no, no. This is just a thing. She then looks at her door and then sees nothing, saying, "Of course. 7 years to this very day. Oh, you was a good man, Jacob. I hope wherever you are, you're having a good time or anything. Can't believe it's been that long." Ebenita then makes her way into her house, where it is dark and cold. She then goes upstairs and runs herself a hot bubble bath, and relaxes for a while. Then, whilst relaxing, she hears the chains rattling again. Startled by it, she calls out, saying, "Hello? Is anyone there?" Thinking she's hearing things. She later then gets ready for bed and sits down in her room by a fireplace in an armchair with a hot chocolate. She then hears a call out again saying, "Scrooge." Ebenita then goes, "Who's there? Go away." She then hears chains rattling and footsteps making their way upstairs to her bedroom. Going up to her bedroom door, she locks it tight and tells anyone who's there that she's calling the police. Then she hears a knock on the door and chains rattling saying, "Ebenita Scrooge. Go away." Then the door unlocks and bursts open a cold blizzard breeze that puts out the fire in her fireplace, darkening the room. She then sees a man with frostbitten skin and a black three-piece suit with chains wrapped around his torso and ankles with money boxes and other heavy objects. He walks into the room and says, "Ebenita Scrooge, is this really how you greet an old flame?" Ebenita then says, Who are you?" "Don't ask who I am. Ask who I was." "Okay. Who were you?" "In life, I was your mentor turned business partner. I was your employee for many years before I promoted you to the position of partner." "Jacob Marley?" "Indeed," said Jacob. No, you're dead. You died 7 years ago today. This is a hallucination, some kind of anniversary syndrome thing. I could be hallucinating. Yes, something could be wrong with this hot chocolate that I'm drinking. "No, there isn't, Ebenita." "May I sit down?" said Jacob. Can you sit? "Yes." Then please sit down then. Jacob then makes his way over to the other armchair by the fireplace and sits down. Ebenita then also sits with him as she's shaking, picking up her saucer and cup, sipping her hot chocolate. She then says, "So why are you here for, Jacob? I mean, are you even here? I mean, like I said, you're just a hallucination." Marley then says, "No, Ebenita, I am here. Believe that." What do you want? "I make this visit for your welfare." What for you? And what are with these chains?" said Ebenita. The chains? The chains are what I forged in life. For my greed. Each loop representing a person that I wronged in life. So I pay for it in death. But You were simply doing your job. I mean, yes, you made a lot of other stores in the area bankrupt, and you did up prices around Christmas time, but it was all for business. Business and life is what got me here. I wear these chains and they get heavier every year. It's been 7 years since I passed, yes, but for me it's felt like an eternity. Time moves differently in the spirit realm. So why are you here? You said you've made it for my welfare. Yes, I'm here to warn you that this fate will also await you in the next life. But there is a chance for you to avoid this fate. How do I do that? Said Ebenita. You will be visited by free spirits. Respect them, listen to them, and you may be able to save your soul. Free spirits, how will I know when they're here? Said Ebenita. Expect the first one by the strike of one, and then the second by the strike of two, and the third by the strike of three. Can't they just come at once so it's over and done with? I don't make the rules here, Ebenita. Now, my time here is done with you. I must go. Marley then gets up off the armchair and makes his way to the window and opens it. Looking out the window, he then says, the spirits are all restless tonight. What do you mean? Said Ebenita. She then goes up to the window and looks outside, seeing ghosts and restless spirits all over the place, all around New York. She then says, surely these spirits are at peace or something. No, they haunt. Some are there for reasons. Some are there because they have unfinished business. Anyway, goodbye, Ebenita Scrooge. Marley then climbs out the window and floats off into the air with all the other spirits. Then, all the spirits and Marley then disappear. The fire in Ebenita's fireplace lights up again, and she then closes the window. Shivering, she then warms up by the fire, looking over her shoulder, and at the time on her clock, saying 11 p.m. Ebenita then looks around, shining the torch on her phone around her room. She then gets into bed with her dressing gown still on, as she feels cold. She then puts down her phone and goes to sleep. Then, 1 hour later, the time on her phone strikes 1, where Ebenita then wakes up, taking in a deep breath. She then assumes that she was dreaming the whole time, before going back into the covers to sleep, where a small light lights up by the fireplace on a small candle, with a manly voice saying, Scrooge.